Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you how to clean a single action revolver, um, and also what you're going to need for cleaning, and all that fun stuff that goes along with it. Today I brought with me my Ruger Blackhawk single 6 357. This is a nice gun. I love this gun. I picked it up for about $350 used. Um, I believe it is a 1970. It does not have there's a slide in here for a safety, a bar that comes up. So with this gun, I think it was past 1972 or past 1973, they installed a safety which, when this gun is loaded with all 6 rounds in the chamber, if you happen to drop or hit this hammer, it will fire. And I have tested that, and that is true. It will fire, and it does not take much to make it fire. Um, so, like I said, I believe after 1972 they installed a bar, and what happens with that bar is, unless this thing is cocked back, that bar will remain down and leave a gap between the hammer and the pin. So that cannot happen. So when it is cocked back like this, a bar sticks up and fills up that gap, between the hammer and the pin, to make it safe to carry 6 rounds in this gun. So when I am carrying this gun, I leave an empty chamber with the hammer resting on an empty chamber. Um, so let's get to how to break this gun down, how to clean it, and all that fun stuff. First of all, let's start with a couple tools that I use. One thing I use is a toothbrush, just a cheap dollar toothbrush. You can buy a couple of them, and I use that just for scrubbing down first the gun, little nooks and crannies, places you can't reach. It's a good tool to have when you're cleaning a gun. Now I also have a box of all sorts of different attachments. I bought at Walmart. It was only about $25. Comes with various attachments for different size barrels and gauges. Goes all the way up to 12 gauge attachments. It comes with rods. It comes with all sorts of little fittings for everything from 22 to all the way up to 12 gauge to clean it. Um, so now to clean this rifle, to break this down, it's real simple. You're going to flip open the loading gate. Now there's a button on the side right in front of the cylinder. You're going to push that in and pull out this rod. Now once you have that rod pulled out, that cylinder comes right out. Pretty simple. I usually just pull this rod all the way out. Now I set the cylinder aside. First thing I do with this gun is I clean the barrel. And on rifles, when you're cleaning, you want to go in here and out, so you're not pushing the gunk back into your gun. Obviously, I can't fit in that way, so I'm just going to go back towards the gun. So what I do first is I start with a brush, and I put a little bit of rem oil on it. Now, a lot of people use a lot of different cleaners and solvents. I just like rem oil. I've used it for years. I think it's a good cleaner. I've never had any problems with using that type of cleaner. So what I'm going to do first is start down the barrel and just give it a couple scrubs. And now a nice tool to have for cleaning this would be a light bender, which is nice because you can actually, I don't have one, which I should get one. They're pretty cheap. You can stick it in the barrel, and that way you can see into the barrel and see how clean it is. It's very hard to look down the barrel and see without that light bender. So that would be a good idea to pick one up. So after I clean that with a brush, what I'm going to do is just run some patches through it. I got my attachment for a 357, It says it right on the side in little numbers. So I'm going to screw that onto my rod, and I'm going to run some patches through it. Alright, you can see that patch. It's pretty dirty. I'm just going to keep running patches through it until I have no more powder, no more dirt on the patches. Alright, one more time should do it. Now, I usually like to spend my time and clean the guns, but I don't want to make a super long video, so I'm just going to kind of do it quick, but show you the process of how it gets cleaned. So they do come with, the kits do come with these little, I don't know what that is, wool brushes. I liked them. This one's for the 357, but they get dirty real quick, even at the first time you use them. Then I feel like they're not doing too much. So I don't use these that much. So next what I'm going to do after I clean that barrel, run the patches through it until they're dry, I'm just going to take my toothbrush and I am going to scrub just the inside of the gun, anywhere where I could fit the toothbrush. I usually like to pull the hammer back, get in there, and just brush most of the debris away first. Alright, and then what I like to do is I like to just take a patch, and people have a lot of different ways of cleaning the guns. This is just my way. So I'm going to take a patch, I'm just going to rub it with a little bit of oil all on the inside and get all the powder out of there, and you can see the dirt on this one. Okay, then what I like to do is take another patch and just put just a little bit of oil on the patch, just to protect the gun and the metal. I like to just lightly go over the whole surface, any steel of the gun, and this gun is mostly steel except for the wood grips. So I go all over the whole gun and just get a light coating of oil, not too much, all over the barrel, all over the gun, over any steel really, just to keep any rust or moisture from getting onto it. So when I'm done with that, I just set that aside, and then I go for the cylinder. And now my wife just woke up. She's gonna ruin my video. No, you can come out. So then I like to take my brush again and again go through the cylinders really quick. And I just like to go the way the cartridge would go, which is from here out. I don't think it matters too much. It's just the way I like to clean it. So once I've lightly brushed all that, I'll put a little bit of oil on my patches and run them through that. And what I like to do is take another patch, just a tad of oil, and on the face of it, front and back, and on the sides, I'll get some oil and wipe it all off. And that's when usually I like to just grab just a paper towel and wipe off the whole cylinder. And now with the rod that holds the cylinder, again, just a tad of oil. I like to make sure this stays lubricated. And then with the gun itself, I like to lubricate all the moving parts in just a little dab. Anywhere where metal touches to on the guns, you should be able to see the wear marks. Any moving part, anywhere where metal touches metal and moves around, I like to put a little bit of oil on it. Also, what I will do, not every time I clean the gun, but on this spring which ejects the spent rounds, I like to put a drop, and not much, a drop or two of oil in there and work it real good. Also, what I will do is lube up that slide with a rag that I've already had some lube on it. And once I'm done with that, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's a real basic way to clean your gun. I didn't go into great detail, but I will put the cylinder back in along with the rod. And then just test the function of the gun. Everything work. Oh, I love that sound. So nice. So that's a basic cleaning of a single action revolver. Like I said before, there's all sorts of different ways people clean their guns. If you want to get crazy, you can take off the handles with a small pocket screwdriver, flathead. Remove the handles, oil up the spring inside there, clean that area out, which I don't do every time. And that's pretty much it. Also, one little trick I learned from the gentleman I bought at the gun store: when you buy a leather holster, brand new, and for your gun, what they told me is to oil up my gun pretty good on the cylinder, especially where it's touching the wall of the sleeve, and then fit it in the holster and get it in there tight and leave it in there for a day or two. I'm not sure if that's to protect from scratches from the holster on the gun or whatnot, but figured I would relay what he told me. So that's how you clean a single action revolver, and thank you very much.